No, I'm right. The Super Bowl edition. Nick Durst here. Of course, I'll be joined by Joe Calabrese and Joe. We have a star-studded cast for us here today. All returning guests. A couple of New Yorkers living in Las Vegas. A guy who is always frequenting Las Vegas, who you're always hanging out with in New York. I mean, so a lot of New York ties here, a lot of Vegas ties. Joe, you are Mr. Las Vegas. So tell everybody who we have here with us and what we're going to be discussing as far as the big game is concerned. I don't know if we could really say the Super Bowl because maybe we're not allowed to use it with the terminology, might be copyrighted. So the big game, Super Bowl, whatever you want to call it. Joe, take it away for the introductions.
We'll call it the superb owl, as I've seen on the internet here and there at times. But yes, we have a great show. For anybody who doesn't know what we've been doing over the last couple of months, we've been doing some holiday roundtables, right? We get three of our previous guests to come on. We did it for Thanksgiving, we did it for Christmas, we did it for New Year's. We're gonna have one for Valentine's Day coming up as well.
Next
But we
week.
consider we consider the Super Bowl a holiday. Most people believe that the day after. So I'm sure that's a question we'll have on the rundown. But we're very, very excited to have a bunch of our former guests on with us. We welcome Jaclyn Marfuggi back to the program. We welcome Jared Smith, and we welcome my guy, Blake Horstmann. Guys, we'll start one by one. We'll go ladies first. Jaclyn, how you doing?
Oh my God, I'm so excited to talk all the sports, but not really the sports, more like who's performing and what we're serving.
Absolutely, that's great. And we got so Jaclyn's background, of course, is in music and comedy. Jared, you're the big out of the guests. You're the big sports guy. You're working in sports, the sports betting. So, how much do you sit down and enjoy the game as opposed to, all right, I'm working?
It's a good question. I'm one of those weird people that when I have a lot of money on a game, I don't want to be around a lot of people for obvious reasons. The Super Bowl over the years has been a game that I haven't gone crazy with because it's just, a lot of times the value, as they say, is kind of sucked out. But yeah, I definitely enjoy a little bit more of the entertainment value than I do for most games. Like if you were to grade it, like the Super Bowl is probably like 50% entertainment, 50% work, where other games, obviously, the scale is much higher on the work side.
Absolutely. And then we have Blake, of course, who's all about entertainment, former reality TV star from The Bachelorette and the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, all of them.
Yeah, so you were there, but now you're in the music world, so you know about entertainment. But you were a pretty good football player back in the day as well.
Back in my glory days, played a little football.
Nice.
But yeah, I will be gambling on the game because I need to make up all the L's I took during the season. I'm chasing my L's, which is never a good idea. But I will be down there in New Orleans a lot more for the entertainment purposes. I don't plan on probably going to the game, but doing all the parties, the Sports Illustrated, Shaq's party, all that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to the big game weekend.
All right, so most people would say the best part of the big game, the Super Bowl, is getting together with your friends and family. I'm kind of with Jared as far as, especially if my team's playing in the game, I want to be alone, locked in the room, nobody bother me. I gotta watch. But we'll go around. Joe, I'll start with you. What's your favorite part about Super Bowl Sunday?
My favorite part about Super Bowl Sunday are Super Bowl boxes because it's the one time where I could get lucky and actually make money. See, we went to Vegas, right? And like, we're not really casino people, right? We're not really Atlantic City people. So for me personally, like I said, I've never been a gambler or anything like that. The only times I have ever won big money in my life were Super Bowl boxes. And I've been very fortunate that I've hit the final score for multiple hundred and a thousand once. I split it with my cousin three separate times. We did it. The first year we did it was the year the Giants beat the Patriots and prevented them from finishing undefeated. So that's always a really good memory for me. But the most recent time it happened was the first time the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. I had 1-0, right? And then the score at the end was 4-0. And then they let Damian Williams break off that run at the end, and that triggered my win. So I just have very, very good Super Bowl boxes. Every time somebody asks me, like, you want a $10 box or $20 box, I make it my business to try to get in as many as I possibly can.
All right. Blake, what's your favorite part? I got to assume it's the fact that everything surrounding the game gets you some extra work, gets you some bookings down there at the big game.
Oh, 100%. I was gonna say I had a booking. I was planning on playing Baltimore's tailgate, but they ended up not making it. So that was a bummer. But yeah, I think the coolest part, I've been to now, at least I've been to one Super Bowl itself game, but I've been to a lot of the like weekends. If you were like down in Miami, I went in Tampa Bay, and it's just such a big event. Like the whole weekend, there's so many different parties, so many different places to be, so many hands to shake. I think honestly, it's one of the better networking weekends in entertainment in the of the year, probably. So I really take advantage of that. I, as much as I love the game and love football, it is almost a bit of a bit of work when I'm down there. I'm always shaking hands and meeting people, whether it be brands or, managers, things like that. But yeah, I just enjoy everything that kind of goes around the events, around the big game weekend.
Now, as a big Broncos fan, how was it DJing the Broncos Bills tailgate up in Buffalo?
Yeah, I've been to Buffalo one other time. This is my first time DJing up there, and I did take off all my Bronco gear because it was a Buffalo tailgate.
Did
So I
they
did
try
take off
to
the
put you
Bronco.
through a table?
I know, I know. No, they didn't. I was DJing while people were jumping through tables, but I
Yeah.
had come through a table. I went back in 2018 to a Monday night game against the Patriots, but this was much different. And I told them, I was like, listen, when they booked me, they're like, listen, you cannot wear Bronco stuff for like people like. Bills are just so passionate. I was like, okay, but I threw it on right after, and they thought it was funny. But it was fun. It's quite the experience. I mean, there's nothing like a Bills game, and the weather was actually pretty nice. I mean, we got the Broncos got beat pretty damn good, but it was still a fun experience.
Awesome time up there, looked like from your Instagram stories. Jared, your favorite part about Super Bowl Sunday?
Yeah, I agree with Blake, actually. I mean, I think the game itself is kind of like an afterthought. You do so much work over the 2 weeks building up to the game. The week on Radio Row is really fun. I've had a chance to do that twice now, and this year I won't be down there, but networking, like seeing people you haven't seen before, going on other people's shows that you only get to really talk to, virtually, and then you get to see them and interact with them in person. Once you get to the game, it's almost like, it's like, all right, can we just get this over with already? So yeah, I think the buildup is definitely my favorite part of it. And then once we get to actual game day, it's not as exciting.
Yeah, I would say my favorite part, because you talked about it, is definitely Radio Row. I love watching all the interviews and listening to the stuff. And when they have outside people coming in out of the sports world are there, it's
Yeah.
kind of gets wonky and stuff. And Joe, I think we can just start our campaign now for You Know I'm Right, Radio Row 2026.
Been doing it for 3 years. Eventually, somebody's going to figure it out.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. Jaclyn, your favorite part of Super Bowl?
All right, I think none of you are sports fans. Mine is actually the game.
Okay.
Wow.
Ah, she just wants to show off.
Come on. It's everything about the game. I mean, I grew up like going to Giants games like every Sunday. I just love like that it's a different energy and the halftime show. I mean, the halftime show is everything. I'm still waiting for a better halftime show than Aerosmith, Britney Spears, NSYNC, Nelly. Like I'm waiting for it and no one has surpassed it for me yet. Maybe Lady Gaga, but that's it.
Well, we'll be talking a lot about the halftime show coming up, but before you get to the halftime show, before you really even get to kickoff, you have to talk about the food. So a lot of people are all about the food. Now, Jared's got a very particular diet, but I think that's fine for Super Bowl because Jared's a carnivore.
There's no diet on Super Bowl, Nick. There's no
Yeah,
diet on
but you
Super
could
Bowl.
you could still do it if you had. You could eat all the chicken wings and stuff. You
Yeah.
don't have to worry about
Yeah.
it.
A lot of
I-
protein.
Last year on Super Bowl, I had a photo shoot the next morning. So I have
Ooh.
some tips. It was rough, guys. I was at like a party in the hill that was catered, everything you can imagine. But basically, I just sipped on tequila to not
There you
get
go.
coffee. So I recommend that. And I basically just did no carbs. So I was annoying. Everyone just ate like my pizza crusts and stuff, and you're fine.
All right. So Jared, what is your go-to Super Bowl
I mean, anything protein related with like steak, chicken, beef. I mean, yeah, see, Joe knows. Like
Anything you eat every day.
we're still
We're
gonna
not
we're still
changing
gonna
it.
be smart about it. I think the carbiest thing I'll have, I am a sucker for like a good like a crab dip. I am
Okay.
a sucker for a good like spinach and artichoke dip. I think that's something that I always go for. I'm always a sucker for like a really good nacho kind of platter. That's always another one, but for the most part, I'm gonna like I'm so drilled into like even when I want to eat unhealthy to still kind of base it around like protein that
Yeah.
I'll just find creative ways to dress up my meat to make it a little bit cooler than usual. But I'll probably stick to the basics.
All right, and Jared, maybe a PSA to all your followers: avoid Costco on Super Bowl morning. It's going to be
Oh
in
yeah.
the parking
Any
lot.
holiday, avoid Costco. Any around any hot major holiday, that is not the place to be.
All right, Blake, what are you looking forward to eating?
We usually my dad makes some fire wings, so when I'm like home for the Super Bowl, I usually get together with my family and we all watch it, and he makes some fire wings. But I'm really looking forward to New Orleans this year. Obviously New Orleans is very well known for their food and their they there's I just feel like there's be a ton of grease, which I'm not
Yeah.
looking because I also like to eat decently healthy. And right now we're on a health kick. My girl is actually walking in New York Fashion Week next week, like the Wednesday before we leave for New Orleans. So I feel like we're just gonna
Gonna be
splurge.
going around.
Yeah, we're just gonna splurge in New Orleans. We're on like a health kick right now doing a diet, and I think we're gonna. So I'm looking forward to the food in New Orleans.
I see you,
Well,
Blake. I see you. I like
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
bro. I
yeah.
respect.
and,
I respect the discipline. Respect.
Yeah. I try.
well, if Blake's in New York, that means one thing. He's going to meet up with Joe, and Joe's going to treat you to some really
I have,
terrible,
well, I
but
have to
really
treat
good
him.
Italian food that's going to make you
Yeah, I know.
sick.
He's got to come out into Manhattan. The last time I saw him, it was in Hoboken.
Where was it?
We
That's
have a
right.
get
I was in
together. Yeah.
Hoboken.
Good
Yep.
Italian food in Hoboken too.
There is. We gotta
Yeah.
link up and go whether you're with
Yeah,
your
Roadhouse or not. Yeah, I don't
yeah,
know
I
right
was
now.
gonna
I don't have
say.
anything on the books, but we'll figure something out.
I
All
think
right, cool.
you're all invited to Staten Island when you both come back to New York. All right, we got the hookup with our sponsors. All right, so
There you go.
meals on us. All right, Jaclyn, you talked last year you couldn't eat, so that was like that was tough for like when Jaclyn was on our show last time, she said she likes to eat her bagels but scoops out the dough. So that was like a big
I get
disappointment.
it.
So I want to know what you're looking to eat in Super Bowl here.
Well, first off, Blake in New Orleans, you have to go to Irene's. It's the best Italian restaurant there. Irene's.
Okay.
Um, I'm looking forward to eating everything, everything. I also see I grew up like in like a big Italian family, so it was basically like Christmas Eve dinner just again, like 2 months later. So we had lasagna. Like that's my favorite thing to eat on Super Bowl. Meatball,
Lasagna.
Oh yeah,
Oh
lasagna,
boy.
right? Meatball
Sunday
sub.
dinner.
Exactly. But I also love a chicken tendy. I feel like I don't put
Okay.
meat on the bone. I'm
Chicken
not a
tender.
wing girly. So I love all the sauces. I think you need all the sauces for Super Bowl and just a slider. I mean, what's better than like an amazing like slider while you're watching the game? I feel like it's all food you need to be able to focus and eat at the same time.
Yeah.
I like it.
Smart.
I like the reasoning there. I
Yeah.
love the Sunday dinner, and then you go for dessert. You have the Super Bowl snacks. I mean, that is just incredible. Joe, another hardcore Italian here. What do you make it for Super Bowl Sunday? Because we know you're really great when it comes to the pizza dough.
I am. I am. My great vodka sauce that you always like to hype up. We don't have my vodka sauce on Super Bowl Sunday though. We separated, even though I come from an Italian family. It's a growing up, my aunt and uncles used to have parties basically almost every year. In the years the Steelers played in the Super Bowl, which was a couple of times, we didn't have the party, so those were the off years. But I'm going to give an answer that wasn't out there. I heard nachos. I like a good chili dip, right? And you can get creative, and that's like really it's a specialty thing. You can bring that out a couple of times a year. Super Bowl Sunday is the day for a good chili dip. And my best friend's mother, she makes it the best. Shout out, Michelle.
Love it.
All right.
Can't go wrong with a good dip.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. So Jaclyn already talked about her favorite halftime show of all time. So we need to ask everybody else what they're thinking. We'll go to you first, Blake.
Ooh, that is hard. Can I say Timberlake and Janet Jackson? Am I allowed to say
Yeah.
that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Wardrobe
yeah.
malfunction.
It's not actually my favorite, but I remember being I was pretty young. I
That was
remember
such a good memory,
I
right?
remember I was watching it and when the incident happened. I went out to the living room to my parents and I was like, "Did you guys see that?" They're like, "I was like, I think her boob was out." They're like, "No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't." I swear to God, I think it was.
They
But
tried
actually,
to
I'll have
gaslight you.
yeah. That was my first boob. That was my first boob.
That
So
was my first.
no, I think my favorite. I mean, it's hard to beat Prince. Prince is incredible. But one for some reason that is just stuck in my head is Katy Perry. I don't know, it's the left shark thing. I don't know. Remember that whole the left
Yeah.
shark was like
Yeah.
kind of like doing its own thing. But for some reason, and she had that insane, she like wrote in on something crazy. So it'd be Prince and then probably a close second, Katy Perry, believe it or not. So
Good point. Good point there. I think personally it's hard to top Bruno Mars, and I also think Beyonce was incredible. You had them basically for 3 years. They were like, "All right, Coldplay, you're not really, no one's really feeling you guys. We're gonna throw Beyonce and Bruno Mars in with you." Jared, what do you think?
All right, I'm dealing with my dog having the zoomies right now. I think my favorite one's the one that I attended. I've only attended one Super Bowl in my life. It was the one in LA. So Snoop Dogg,
Yeah.
Dr. Dre, Eminem, the one at SoFi a few years
Oh,
ago with the Bengals and the Rams. Watching that in person was an absolute experience. I mean, they all have their certain flair to them. I'm just waiting for the one that T Swift finally decides she's going to do. I'm
Right.
sure that's going to happen at some point, probably after Travis retires. But to me, that's the one I'm most excited about in the future. But I'll say Eminem, Dr. Dre for now, and obviously my dog agrees.
Now, the next question was going to be who should do the Super Bowl show. So obviously it should be Taylor Swift. Now, I heard some sort of conspiracy theory that the Super Bowl show used to be sponsored by Pepsi, but she was signed to Coca-Cola and she couldn't do something with Pepsi, so she was out for a while. But now I think like they'd have to pay her like a ton of money to do the Super Bowl show. But I heard now they're charging the Super Bowl act to do the show. So we'll see if that ever happens. But I think Taylor Swift would be great. I also want to give a shout out real quick to Rihanna, who did the Super Bowl show pregnant, which is pretty incredible. So, Joe, we'll go to you because I didn't get you on the last end, but give me your favorite Super Bowl show and who do you want to see do the halftime show in the
That's
future?
interesting. So for me personally, like a couple years ago when they had it in Miami and they had J-Lo, Pitbull, and Shakira, that was awesome. That was just a blast from start to finish. A lot of great choreography. Uh, the performance itself was amazing. Through the years, most Super Bowl halftime shows, I think, in recent years have been good. For me personally, like I'm a rock guy, right? So I want like a
Foo
traditional.
Fighters, that's your
Yeah,
guy.
I want the Foo Fighters. Like they had you mentioned Bruno Mars. That year, the Red Hot Chili Peppers played with them,
Yep.
and they were pretty damn good. Kind of as a side piece. I miss like the days of like the Who and Springsteen and
Ugh.
Paul McCartney when he did it one year. So I'd like to bring it back and do something like a little more traditionally
Mhm.
rock as opposed to mainstream or like something hip hop.
Well,
But
I think
I
they
agree. I also agree with Jared too. The one a couple years ago in LA, the hip hop history one, that was really well
Well, they
done.
should bring it back. I think it should always be multiple acts. I think when there's just
yes.
one or two, and
Yeah.
you gotta go four, five, six, like, just really sprinkle it all in there. You have the main headliner and then work around it. What do you think, Blake?
Yeah, I agree. I actually agree with Joe. I do find it interesting though that now like people pay. Actually, I think like the weekend paid like 8 million or something to be the Super Bowl
Wow.
halftime. They actually pay to be because I mean his streams went shot up, so
Right.
it's a good investment. But I actually agree. I think Rock. I remember Creed did like the AFC Championship game one year and just crushed it. And I remember thinking like they need to bring back like those kind of rocks. I saw Nickelback recently. They're still crushing. I love Nickelback. I know there's like some people don't like them, but I think like a rock heavy with different guests would be a really fun halftime show.
All right. And Jaclyn, who do you think should do the Super Bowl halftime show?
Well, I was gonna say Bruno Mars should do it every year because he
Okay.
has gambling
He was
debts to
really
pay
good.
off
Yeah.
in Vegas and he needs the money. But now that he
That's
has to pay, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
that's insider info. With
Well,
those
Yeah, I
two
did not
Vegas
expect to get
insiders.
that today.
So I say Bruno every year. But no, I agree with you. Like rock bands with tons of guests. Like that Aerosmith one, I think hit it on all cylinders. You had Mary J. Blige, Nelly, you got the pop star girly, you had like all of them. So I think you get like one amazing rock band and then you bring in like Sabrina Carpenter, you bring in
That's what I was
like
going to say. Sabrina
You,
Carpenter.
you know who
Yeah.
you know who would be really good? Post Malone would be really good.
oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
because you could put multiple different types of acts with Post Malone, and it could all come together really well.
I mean, I feel like he collabs with everyone anyway. Like we have that list. I mean,
think-
oh, sorry, go
I
ahead.
think the ultimate mashup would be a rock band and Adele. I think that would be
I didn't think
Adele
about
would be good.
fire.
That would actually be really good.
Yeah, she would be good. Her residency here in Vegas was awesome.
Yeah, I tried to go, but it was way above my price point when I was out.
Yeah, it was. A lot of people were priced out of that one.
It
Just
was
like
like
Usher.
6,000 for a ticket. I was like, yeah, no thanks. I'll go to a comedy show. All right, so that is the halftime show talk there. So how do we think this halftime show this year with Kendrick Lamar and SZA is going to stack up? I personally couldn't name one Kendrick Lamar song. I do like
Same.
SZA
That
though.
was coming.
So I'll go with Jared first because
Oh,
he's in the same boat as me. What do we think?
Yeah, I don't
About
have much to add here. I'll be honest, when they announced it, I was like,
I was
is that the
surprised.
like the is that the pregame halftime show?
Yeah.
Is there like another halftime show where like the headline act is gonna be off? That's like the pregame,
Yeah,
right?
where's Olivia Rodrigo? We don't need Kendrick
Yeah,
Lamar.
I don't know. I mean maybe I'm just getting old. I'm gonna be 40 in about a year, so maybe I'm priced out of the cool kids music market these days, but
Yeah.
didn't really move the needle too much for me.
All right, Jaclyn, you're a big Kendrick Lamar fan, I think.
huge, you guys. I used to teach a fitness class, and Kendrick Lamar's "Be Humble" would get all like the Brentwood
Yeah.
housewives
Okay, I
so
do know that
Oh yeah,
song.
I bet.
pumped. You know, "Be Humble." Like,
I do know that one.
let's put some respect on Kendrick, guys.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough.
Well, go to
No,
you. What do you think? You think it's going to be a good halftime show, Jaclyn?
I mean, I feel like he's an underdog. I feel like everyone's kind of like, ugh. So I think he's gonna bring it, and we're all gonna be like, oh, okay. Like, I hope he brings out more people. Like, SZA's a great performer.
Yeah.
I like songs that like get us pumped up. Like, I like watching with all my friends and fist pumping through the ceiling. Like, I need a lot of energy, so I hope they both bring it. I feel like Kendrick could also bring out actually no. I take that back. Beyonce just did her whole like halftime show for Netflix. I don't think he's going to bring her out for like one of their collabs. I don't know. I want to see. I feel like also like I don't know who we're supposed to like right now. Like I know Jay-Z. Like I want to see Jay-Z come out, but like are we allowed to like him right now? I don't know. It's so he's my favorite. That's who I'd want to see perform. But we'll
Well,
see.
they always do like the virtual entrances and stuff. So maybe they could do like a Zoom call with Diddy from jail or something.
Oh,
Like a hologram, a
Oh,
Diddy
Oh
hologram.
boy.
No.
I feel like when they booked this, there's been a lot of things that have happened since they booked it.
So much.
yeah.
They're like,
It's gonna be interesting to see. 'Cause I guarantee you, Jay-Z was probably gonna come out. Like I feel like,
Right?
and now I feel like maybe he still might, honestly, but it's.
Has anyone seen him in the last 2 months?
I haven't seen him in a minute. You're right. I haven't seen him in a minute. It's gonna be interesting to see who he brings out and kind of I don't know, because I always like getting on Twitter or X
Yeah.
now, whatever, during halftime to see what people are saying. And this one could be real. This could be more entertaining on X than it is on the actual show. So
I
Yeah.
like Jaclyn's take though. I like the fact that everyone thinks it's gonna flop and
Yeah.
we're gonna be entertained. I think that's where you're usually entertained is you set the bar really low, under
true.
promise, over deliver. So
and Kendrick Lamar does have hits. I feel like he's one of those people who are like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah. You know
Good
what I mean?
call.
So, yeah, they
Yeah.
Like Kendrick Lamar, I know he has his fans. He's won awards, but the Super Bowl is all about my mom, my mother-in-law, my father-in-law. Like, they don't watch football. Like the casual fan's gonna tune in. They're gonna be like, "What the heck is this?"
yeah.
What do you think?
Probably.
What do you think, Joe? I mean, your mom, your
Yeah, I
they'd
was
be
gonna
locked up
say
with you.
he's got great songs. He's got great radio songs. I don't know if he's got great. You want to hear this
Stage
during the
presence?
Super Bowl halftime show songs. You know what I mean? Like you can bop to his music. He's got a lot of great songs. I just, my mom's gonna be the same way. She's gonna be like, why did they choose him? You know what I mean? Like he's more of a secondary guy. He's more of a guy you put with the headliner, and it all comes together really nicely, as opposed to being the headliner itself.
Yeah, the boomers are not gonna like this one, I don't think.
Gonna be
Yeah.
tough.
I think unconventional way. Like next year, like let's go with a comedian for the halftime show. You bring Scalco out. He talks about the
volunteer
first
Nikki
Yeah.
Glazer, she does everything
Jaclyn,
these days.
you and
Nikki
your old
Glazer's
girl-
everywhere.
Jaclyn's old
Yes.
flame, Sebastian Maniscalco can get together.
Oh, love it.
At the
Oh.
halftime show.
I'll be his own.
Buffy, just go figure it out. Maybe Blake, maybe I don't know, maybe I think you would know about this person. Maybe Miss Rachel could do the halftime show.
I do know
Yeah.
Miss Rachel.
We got our children. They love Miss Rachel. She's an icon now. So we'll see. A lot of options there, Joe. I appreciate your opinion, and I'm gonna throw this right back to you, Joe, because everybody with this, with the Super Bowl. I'm going to Disney, right? So my question to you is, if you won the Super Bowl, where would your first stop be?
Ibiza, get out of here.
Ibiza,
I'm
okay.
going away. Going very far away.
Even the country.
I'm never coming back.
All right. How about you, Jared?
It's a good question. Yeah, like definitely somewhere off the beaten path, but like not a beach. Like I think Ibiza is a little far, especially after I just played in a game. Like maybe like the beach, the nearest beach to wherever the game is being played. Give me a cabin for a week, and I'm gonna turn my phone off.
Blake, Where you go?
Honestly, mine would probably be Disney World because I've never been, so I feel like I
Oh,
feel like I totally would go because I've heard amazing things.
reveal.
I've never been, so I've been to Disneyland, but never Disney World.
Okay.
I'd probably honestly still go there.
All right, how about you, Jaclyn?
Oh, I'm going to the Italian Riviera, baby.
He's going to homeland.
I like it.
Have you been in that water? I mean, after playing in the Super Bowl, I need that salt water to I'm just going to lie in the Mediterranean just for like hours. That's it.
All right, fair enough. If I was playing the Super Bowl, which I never would, or if I was a GM or something, we'd be going straight to the hotel to the post-game party where the DJ Blake Horstmann's going to be killing it. And we'll also going to have a great buffet. We'll have great foods. And then I would go to Disneyland. Never been there yet, so I'll go there. So now the question is, as far as Super Bowl is concerned, since we haven't talked much about the game, what was the best Super Bowl of all time?
Oh, man.
So think about that. For me, I have a split answer. So I'm gonna say, from start to finish, the full game with all the dramatics, everything surrounding it, has to be Super Bowl 42, where the Giants beat the Patriots. There's an incredible storyline there.
Yeah.
But the best Super Bowl ending of all time, and the end of the game, has to be Super Bowl 51, where the Patriots came back to beat the Falcons. I mean, the drama there, the walk-off touchdown. Joe, I know you're loving that answer, so I'll go to you. Give me your best Super Bowl of all time.
Putting me on the spot recently.
Gotta be next to the Jets, Super Bowl 3, right?
That's right. Haven't been there since. Isn't it amazing? Of all the teams that I had to get roped into to root for, between my next door neighbor, my best friends, my family's pretty split, but it's like I was just always at Jets games, you know? Like they couldn't have brought me to Giants games. I would have seen two by now. Even though you guys have been miserable for like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
As you can see, I'm stalling because I didn't have the answer right off the top of my head.
We'll go to Blake, who's gonna probably have to say Super Bowl 50.
I was gonna say I could go
destroyed the Panthers.
Yeah, I could go with like a Bronco Super Bowl. I mean, Elway and Terrell Davis. Those days, I mean, those were fun. Those were some fun Super Bowls. But I would have to say, I mean, actually, I think obviously the New England Atlanta was incredible. Like I remember thinking at halftime it was over. Yeah. But man, that Seattle New England game. When they picked it at the end there, just run the damn ball with Marshawn Lynch. Like I would probably say, because again, it was like Brady somehow pulled this out again. I was just like, it's just every time he wins, just like, how the hell does he keep doing that? So that was a good one. And of course, also Brady. I mean, he's been in every damn Super Bowl. It seems like the snow, bit of Terry in the snow, kicking that field goal to win the game. I mean, just those are some classics.
All right, Jared, what do you think is the best Super Bowl?
I mean, it's impossible to say best. I'll give you some highlights. I think 34, the Rams-Titans with Derek Mason reaching at the end. I thought that was a fantastic finish. The first Patriots Super Bowl where Vinatieri and Brady was a rookie. And Vinatieri hit the one against the Rams. I thought that was obviously at the top of the list. You guys kind of nailed it with the recent ones. I definitely think that Rams-Bengals one that I attended was really good, where the Bengals had the lead and the Rams came back late. Cooper Kupp had the touchdown on the last drive, and then Aaron Donald had the sack to end the game on Burrow. I mean, that was just drama. And how about a little bit of an off color one? How about the Nick Foles game over the Patriots? We're one of the few games that the Patriots lost, right? The Nick Foles Philly special. I thought that was a fantastic game. Not as it was a little bit wider margin. The Patriots lost that game by 8, but still one of the better finishes and one of the bigger upsets in recent Super Bowl history.
All right, Jaclyn, any Super Bowls come to mind for you that you enjoyed the most?
Nick,
the Giants winning.
Gonna steal your answer, Nick.
Answer, right?
I feel like when the Giants beat for the second time the Patriots, I was actually working at the Parlor Hollywood, which was like the biggest sports bar in LA. And I remember I had like the big couches, like the bottle service tables, and literally there was like one Giants fan in the whole couch. Everyone else was Patriots. And they threw me over their shoulder and they were like bouncing me up and down. I've never made more money before.
Nice.
So that definitely was it.
I like the personal touch to this story.
Right? Like I felt like so connected to it. And then last year in Vegas, I mean, there was like such a vibe here, to be honest. Like it was cool. Like I was doing a show and we all got invited to go to the Maxim party and like 50 Cent performed and like we had like Rob Gronkowski there and like Bachelor people. And it was just all these parties and vibes, and everyone was just so heightened, and like Taylor and it was just like
Yeah.
such a vibe here. So
And
that
while
was
you mentioned 50 Cent, I heard he has a residency in Vegas and he's really mailing it in. And it's gotten horrible reviews. He's just like
No.
up and down with his hand the whole time.
Yes, he does have the same choreo for every song. It's like the chicken head hand down. Like it's like, cat, stop it, 50. Yeah.
So Joe, I said you wanted to stall. I'll come back to you. Give us your quick
I
answer.
do have a good answer that hasn't been named yet. The Hardball Bowl, the Ravens and 49ers. Even though the Ravens jumped out to a lead, the 49ers came back, had the opportunity at the end, brother versus brother. I think it's pretty much on a list of very underrated because not only did you had the delay because the lights went out, Beyonce, that was the year she played the Super Bowl halftime. That was very hyped up. You had New Orleans. So I think of all the games because how many times have we seen Brady and Mahomes and all these big quarterbacks and these big teams? And it's like the Ravens and yeah, sure, the Niners are a good team, but I mean, the quarterbacks in that game were Joe Flacco and Colin Kaepernick. You know what I mean? So it was like two good teams, two well-balanced teams. Again, the whole everything. Again, Beyonce that year, the lights going out.
Yeah, and this is
the first Super Bowl delay.
They're going to be back in Caesars Superdome this year for the Super Bowl. You can actually bet on if there's going to be a power outage.
No,
don't bet that. Don't bet that. That
Plus
was the last
15.
time the game was in New Orleans, though. So that's a really good answer, Joe, because that's the last time the game was in New Orleans.
For yes, minus 15,000 for no. I would take the no on that one.
Minus 15,000.
Can you imagine somebody literally just like cut?
Yeah, somebody's gonna find a way. Man.
Someone's betting.
Hey,
you know,
somebody's betting it. And
they
know the guy who like has the power switch in there to split the money. Oh my gosh,
that guy would be fired.
So Joe, you mentioned your Jets awful, right? So this question's for all of you. I'm gonna come to you first. Would you take this deal? A guarantee that your favorite football team wins the Super Bowl next year, but then the price to pay for that is your other teams in every other sport never win anything again in your lifetime. So for you, Joe, the Jets win next year, but your Yankees, your Rangers, your Knicks, they never sniff a championship again in your life.
I'll be miserable my whole life. I need to see the Stanley Cup once. Okay. It happened when we were 2 years old. We need to see it as adults. That's my top answer. I'm sorry. As much as I love football and I love...
Let's go to Blake now because his team has won the Super Bowl pretty recently. And his basketball team has won.
Oh, say we've been cleaning up out here in Denver.
And the Avalanche won the Stanley Cup
recently. So I don't think this really can apply to Blake. We're going to just pass
City of
over
Champions.
Yo, I actually this will maybe upset you. I DJ when the Avalanche won. I was in Nashville. The Avalanche won the Stanley Cup. Yeah. I flew back that night and I DJ'd their like winning what was like their family and stuff, and I drank out of the cup and I was DJing with the cup up on the it was amazing. It was one of the I mean, I'm a big hockey guy too. I grew up playing hockey, so it was one of the best nights of my life. Just casually drinking out of the Stanley Cup and DJing for the Avs. But no, I don't think I'd take that bet. And the reason I would take that deal is because we honestly the Nuggets and Avs can win a few more times in the next like 5-6 years. So it wouldn't be worth it for me. We've got a bright future with the Nuggets, Avs. The Rockies are terrible, but everybody else are pretty good. So.
One day the Rockies have turned around. Rocktober was amazing back in the day.
It was fun. That was fun.
All right, so Jaclyn, our Giants here. I mean, they might not win again in our lifetime, period. So this could be their role reversal here to make them win. Are you going to take it, or are you want the other teams to win the rest of your lifetime?
I would 1000% take that bet. Thank you. The Yankees have had a great run. We've seen them win enough. I'm okay with it.
Never seen them win enough.
They're fine.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think Giants fans need it. We really need it.
Yeah. Now I'm really curious. I waited for Jared for last because he's also a suffering fan like Joe, and I really need to hear this answer because he probably has thought about this before.
I have a unique fandom too, so I'm Jets, Yankees, Rangers, and Knicks. So I've had a lot of success and a lot of misery. It's actually a really healthy balance. I would take that deal. I honestly would. I want to see that. I'll be honest. I don't think the Jets are ever winning a Super Bowl ever again. I don't think it's ever happening. So if you told me that I would get to witness something that I never thought I would experience in my lifetime, I would take it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, now let's talk a little about the game, okay? And that is, what color will the Gatorade shower be? So this will be your tell to me as far as who you think is going to win. A little bit of research here is that the last 2 years the Chiefs won. It was purple, and the only green Gatorade they have is green apple. So I don't think the Eagles will be drinking green apple. So you're probably going to look at the yellow color if the Eagles win would be my guess. So Joe, I know you always bet this every year. What are you thinking?
It's going to be some variation of blue.
Blue.
Oh,
Blue. We haven't had blue Gatorade yet. Every year we
Blue
expect
Gatorade's
it.
the best. The
This
best
is the year.
Gatorade.
This is the gate. Yep. This is the year we get it. Finally.
All right, Jared, what do you think?
yeah. I think I always go yellow, lemon, lime. That's always the default. I always think that's an undervalued one because it's like the most common, popular color that people usually get. So for some reason, people just don't think it's going to be that. Everyone's going to bet purple. I've seen purple take a ton
Yeah,
of
you have
money.
to.
Like
I
they
mean,
already know what the color
yeah,
is.
they already
People are
know.
betting it.
All right, Blake, what do you think?
I think it'll probably be yellow, but I mean, depending on what the odds are, I think maybe orange. I'm gonna go orange.
Orange is a good
Yeah,
Gatorade as well.
orange.
All right, Jaclyn, what do you think?
You want an
Like,
orange,
oh, man.
probably.
I was gonna say orange, but you know what? The like frosty, like cloudy white one is my
White one.
hangover go-to,
That might be on the Eagles sideline.
right?
Yeah, clear
Yeah.
is an option. Clear is an
Get
option.
get on top of it.
Hey, what are the odds for that, Jared?
I'll look
clear?
right now. Usually, I think clear is usually.
Cloudy white.
Purple's the heavy favorite, so I don't know how
Yeah.
many colors they go deep, but
Yeah, I can tell you right now. Clear is like 9-1.
it's pretty
The
good.
yellow,
That's pretty good.
yeah, yellow, green, lime is actually the same. See, that's why lemon, green, lime makes sense to me because it's like three different colors. You
Green,
get like
yeah.
yellow, you get like all the citrus at 3-1, and then the favorite's obviously purple at plus 250.
Yeah,
Or you can go really bold, go no Gatorade bath at 25-1.
Ooh.
That's like if there's like chaos at the end of the game and
Yeah, I'd
like
say, well,
nobody
yeah.
knows what's happening.
Does a missed toss count, or does it just have to be
No,
like
no,
not-
no.
as long as it comes out of the bucket.
Yeah, if it comes out of the bucket and they catch it on camera, it's gonna
There's like
count.
a blackout.
Blackout.
Okay.
Yeah, or like
Another
say like the
blackout.
game's like a crazy ending and like nobody knows who wins and like everyone's like sitting around like an overtime game
Yeah,
or something
well,
really
like,
crazy, some kind of
It's
crazy
bananas.
finish. And everyone's like just running on the field and it's chaos and there's no Gatorade. Like that would be a no
Happen.
Gatorade bath 25-1.
All right, now Joe, heads or tails?
Tails never fails.
Jared,
Come on. As long as just don't bet more than -1. Like if it's -105, don't bet it. If it's -102, bet it. Tails never fails.
Blake.
I would say tails too. Actually, I usually bet tails.
Jaclyn, are you going to be a tails person? Or...
Heads. I'm going heads.
I knew it.
No.
So 4-1 here. We're going with the tails. And then, there are some other great props to look at the Super Bowl. So let's talk about the national anthem. John Batiste. Okay. The over-under is, I think, 221 or 220. You have to go on the under here. I realize the last few years it's been over, but John Batiste, excuse me, he sang the national anthem at the NBA All-Star game in 2017. 2 minutes and 7 seconds. I watched it. I can't see going beyond that. He was 207 in 2017. And, he's not an overpowering guy. He's got the piano. It's going to be very nice. But I'm going to go under here on this one. Joe, you're with me on that?
I'm with you on the under, pal.
The under. All right, Jared, what are you thinking?
I agree. That was elite analysis, right?
Yeah,
there.
I'd say I'm actually gonna bet it because of
I'm
your
gonna have to come on Jared's show to talk about the national
I'm
anthem.
actually gonna bet the under.
Jacqueline's going over.
I'm going over. We're gonna get a piano break. It's gonna be a whole new national.
Oh, that's a good
anthem.
point. You get a piano break. Yeah.
Yeah, there's gonna be a sound break. It's gonna be great. You guys are gonna be like,
Here's
Oh
another.
yeah. Honestly, I'm changing my pick. Jacqueline's right. We're gonna get a piano interlude. It's going over.
Okay.
Wait. No. It's from the point you start the national anthem when you say it out loud. The bet has to include like piano or instrumentals in order for it to count.
No, but what if it's in the middle?
Interlude's in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then it's not the song, so I don't know.
That'd be
Why-
wild.
What's for determined?
Imagine just like stopping the anthem just to play piano. And every underbetter would be so pissed.
Well,
I could see.
how about this? I mean, will a player or coach cry during the national anthem? Nick
Yes.
Sirianni's the
Yes,
coach.
he's crying.
Yes is minus
Yes.
430. No is
Yes.
plus 285.
Minus
Really?
430.
It's that high?
Minus 430 for yes.
Oh,
Plus
okay.
285 for no. Nick Sirianni coaching, you have to go with yes, but maybe he's going to be more controlled. I think Saquon Barkley is going to shed a tear. So I'm going to go with yes, somebody's going to cry. What do you think, Blake?
Yeah, I would say yes too. I think so. I can't imagine playing. I'd cry. Like I feel like the Super Bowl would be so insane and so intense. Your emotions are so high. Yeah, I'd say yes.
All right, what do you think, Joe?
I'm with you, pal. I think Nick Sirianni, they're going to get a really good, he's going to be like hugging a player or something, and he's going to have a tear streaming down his face, and he's going to be so locked in.
So locked in. We'll see.
100%. Sirianni's the biggest drama queen on the field, I think.
Absolutely.
All right, Jaclyn, what do you think?
In my experience, boys are way bigger criers than girls. I've seen my dad cry way more times than my mom. We call her Stone Cold Steve Austin. So definitely the football players are going to be crying.
Great
I
analysis.
cry on my couch here, though. So yeah.
And Jared, do we have any over-under on Taylor Swift shots on the camera?
If they do post it, all that stuff is going to be offshore. Like they're
Okay.
also going to give you probably offshore props for the first song of the halftime show.
Yeah.
And I've had years where I used to work for someone who worked in the NBC sports production department, and they actually got the set list before.
I knew some.
that kind of stuff.
We might know the same person.
Oh,
Yeah, probably.
I interned in Stanford in 2014 after as I was graduating college, like my last semester, and I had the right starter and final song for Rihanna. Last year, there was like discrepancy with the first song, but the last song we had obviously. So we may know the same person. We may have to talk about that.
Yeah, but like usually those bets are like the limits are so low because that information can get out and people just know what the right answer is. But yeah, I would say over on Taylor. I mean, usually they give Taylor at least two looks per game. And if Travis has a big game, that would be a good correlated parlay, like Taylor Swift mentions or appearances with like Travis Kelce receptions.
Taylor Swift went over last year, by the way, and I bet that. So
now, from what I'm seeing, you can bet will Travis Kelce propose to Taylor Swift. I'm seeing this in an Athletic article here. So yes is 500 plus 500, yet no is minus 950. Jaclyn, what are you thinking? I think you got to go no on this.
Absolutely not. No.
I don't think she'd like that. It wouldn't work out.
Those odds are terrible for that too. 5-1 for him to propose. Like that's crazy. That's way bad.
It's very strange.
Oh, they got to keep it like separate. Like I feel like that should be like their own little
Now
thing.
here's a good parlay for you, Jared. Plus 900. It's that Kelce and the Chiefs win the Super Bowl and Taylor Swift wins the Grammy for Album of the Year.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know who else is for Album of the Year, but the Chiefs are favored to win the Super Bowl. So as long as Taylor Swift is the favorite or amongst the favorites to win Grammy,
I'm a little surprised she got nominated because I don't think she put an album out last year. But I mean, what do I know?
I have no idea how that works.
What do you think, Blake? How does the Grammy Academy work with their nominations?
Honestly, I didn't even know Taylor. Who else is nominated? I wonder who could beat her.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Figure that out in a second.
That's not a bad parlay.
I was gonna look that up.
That is not a bad.
I'll look it up.
I was gonna say
Maybe Sabrina Carpenter. I don't know. Beyonce's always nominated, but I don't know.
9-1 feels like that's like a really good bet because again, the Chiefs are favored in the game, so to get to 9-1, like
so maybe Taylor Swift might be a
plus
heavy
400 to win Grammy. It's a good bet.
Yeah, maybe Taylor's an underdog then, because that's
heavy dog.
That's the only explanation to get odds like that.
Yeah, and some of these other people bets you could bet on Kendrick Lamar halftime show guests. So
that's another one that'd be helpful to have the set list for.
Yeah. So you got Future, Metro Boomin. They're both at plus 125. Lil Wayne's at plus 164, and Baby Keem. I don't know who these people are outside of Lil Wayne. Plus 170.
Are those people? Are those humans?
Lil Wayne.
I know Lil Wayne.
He won't be
Lil Wayne. I got the other ones. I have no.
He won't be in the country. Joe, did you get the Grammy Award nominees?
I haven't.
Yeah, I did. Jaclyn has it.
Go ahead.
Should I go? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Andre 3000 is
Pretty Blue
nominated.
Sun. I knew. Yeah, I know that.
I never know he's back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cowboy
he's back.
Carter, Beyonce, Short and Sweet, you were right, Sabrina Carpenter, Charlie XCX, Brat, that was like the album, I feel like that's gonna win. D. Jesse Volume 4, Jacob Collier, Hit Me Hard and Soft, Billie Eilish, that could
Yeah, Billie
win.
Eilish.
Billie
is
Eilish
good.
Yeah, the
is
Billie
gonna win.
Eilish one,
Yeah.
that one feels like the winner. That was
Yeah.
a really good album.
Chapel Roan, The Rise and Fall of Midwest Princess, Love Chapel, and then Taylor, Tortured Poets Department. I don't
Not
think
a good
Taylor
album.
it's not her
That's why
best.
the odds are so good because
I agree.
Billie Eilish is going to crush.
Yeah,
I
I like
agree.
how we all agreed on Billie Eilish.
I would go
Okay.
Sabrina Carpenter.
Billie-
but I
I would
think
say Billie or
Billie Eilish
Sabrina.
always wins.
I think
So
Sabrina's
Taylor's
gonna
probably the
get, like,
third.
what?
Taylor's probably the third favorite on that list. That's why the odds are so good.
Chappelle,
Right.
Maybe
Chappelle
four.
might be third, so yeah.
Got Charlie in there too with the Brat. She was
So
yeah.
this is
Mm.
Blake's. Might have to come. Everybody might have to come back for a Grammys preview. Actually,
There you go. There you go.
Oh,
we'll see. And shout out to Akon, who's finally back after a 15-year hiatus with his new song. So
His
we'll see.
original album would have won. That was great.
It's good stuff. All right, so last thing here, we'll toss it to Jared before we wrap. Then, Jared, give us your best props for the game.
Well, my favorite prop in this game is the shortest touchdown under 1.5 yards.
Yeah.
That is a prop that the professionals love to bet, and I love it even more this year because of the tush push.
Barkley always
vibes.
gets stops at the 1 yard line too, 12 times this year.
Yeah. And anytime there's a pass interference in the end zone, and anytime there's like a third down and goal from the 3, like the Eagles are just trying to get it to the 1 and they know they're going to go for it on 4th down. Like there's just so many opportunities, I think. So that bet's never priced right. And again, it's a bet the pros love to make. So if you bet it now, the odds are probably going to be better by the time you get to Sunday.
All right, Joe, you've been preparing for this. Give
Yes.
us your best prop. You wanted to impress Jared.
Okay. As of right now, I think the game to go to overtime is plus 1,200 still. Is that correct?
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay. The last 2 years, 3-point game and an overtime game. It seems like every time the Chiefs are in this game, outside that Tampa game, it's close. I think both teams are evenly matched. We've never had consecutive overtime games in the Super Bowl. This is the first year we're going to do it. And the also prop that I like, now I've seen the odds fluctuate here and there, but over 2.5 players to throw a pass in the game.
Yeah, I like that.
Take the over.
That's
The
always fun.
Bengals and the Rams, Joe Mixon threw the touchdown, right? And last year,
Any
we had
non-QB to
it.
throw a touchdown, minus 4,000 on the no, plus 1,400 on the yes.
On the yes, it's a great throw $5 on it, right?
I like it.
There you go. You like
That's
that,
good
Jared.
advice for this game. Like, don't treat it like, don't act like you're
Yeah.
gonna have to make all these perfect bets. Have fun with them. Do a couple long shots you like.
Yeah, Blake,
go
I think
crazy.
Blake's got to go any offensive lineman to score a touchdown.
Oh yeah,
What is that?
I would have liked that a lot more if the Lions were in the game.
Yes.
They've done that before.
Yeah.
Plus 2,800 is yes, and
Put
no,
100 on that bad boy. No,
no is minus 40,000.
40,000. Yeah, you'd have to put a lot to make anything. Gosh, that's a good. I mean, obviously with the tush push, I would go Hurts with 2 touchdowns. I think Hurts is going to get
Nice.
2 touchdowns. Yeah, I think Hurts
like
with
that.
2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
He had 2 touchdowns in the
Three.
previous
Three
Super Bowl.
touchdowns.
Yeah,
in
3
the
touchdowns,
games
right?
years
That's
ago.
right. Yeah.
3 touchdowns.
you
Yeah.
can also bet any quarterback to record a reception. So Patrick Mahomes likes to catch the ball sometimes in the big games. That's yes plus 1,600. No minus 6,600. Listen, I don't have a great prop bet here, but I'm definitely taking the under in this game. The Chiefs,
This game's going way under.
they
Just
never
like last year.
have an offensive explosion in the big Super Bowl game. It's always a close game, and the Chiefs win because they have the best defensive coordinator in Steve Spagnuolo.
Okay.
So that's my thoughts. Jaclyn, anything you're keeping an eye on in this game closely?
The only thing I'm keeping an eye on is the Eagles losing. That's all I care about during this game. So any bet that's against them, I'm here for it.
Right.
As a Giants fan, I just
Yeah.
can't.
Joe, you gonna keep your eye on the refs in this game?
Oh boy.
Absolutely.
There's got to be some ref props. There's got to be like
Yeah, penalties. You can bet on the amount of penalties in the game. I think it's set at 9.5
Oh, okay.
Total?
total.
Yeah.
I actually think
Ron
it's going to
Torbert is the
I think it's
official.
going to stay under.
You know, it's
Ron
funny when
Torbert
they
in the Super Bowl, the LA Super Bowl, there were 6. It was one of the
I was
fewest
gonna say
penalties in a Super
my
Bowl
lean
in
is under
like
because
20 years.
both teams like running the ball. So I think it's gonna stay under.
and
Because are they gonna call holding penalties the whole
funny
time?
when they released the graphic NFL of the referees 2 weeks ago, it was in red. It had the Chiefs colors, and everyone was like, "What's going on here?"
So is
Oh,
People are
everything
obsessed
oh,
with
I
the
have a
refs.
really good on the fly question. Do we believe in the Super Bowl logo, the color scheme? It's been
No,
predicting the teams for the last 5 years. It's a huge meme on the internet. Do we believe in that? Yes or no?
no.
There are no coincidences in the NFL.
I'm with Blake.
I can
It's
100%
crazy.
tell
4
you
or
the game
5.
is not rigged. 100%. It's not rigged.
not rigged? Really, Jared?
Not rigged. I
There was
promise
no
you.
way the Chiefs weren't going to the Super Bowl this year.
I
No way.
promise you.
No way.
No,
I love how they like leaned
So
into
I have
it.
a friend that does shows. He created this term, and I think it fits. CDS, Chiefs Derangement Syndrome. This Chiefs run has triggered people. Like they want to come up with every reason possible why this team is not great. I mean, they're the best coach team. They got the best quarterback. I mean, the rig thing just is, it's just boggled. People just want to quote the great T Swift, people throw rocks at things that shine.
okay, fair enough.
Like
Swifty in the house. Jared.
Obviously, we need to give our game predictions. So we'll go around the room. Tell me who's winning, which team, and who is the MVP. I'll go first. Now, I think Saquon Barkley's going to have the best game, but I think the Chiefs are going to win. So boring. Patrick Mahomes wins the MVP, even though it should probably go to somebody on defense because the defense is going to win the game. But you always got to bet the quarterbacks. Jaclyn, you said it. You said you got your Chiefs, right? So who's gonna be the MVP of the game?
Damn it. I mean, I feel like it's going to go to Travis because, again, everything's rigged.
Last year would have been the year for him to win it, though. So, yeah.
That's what they want. Everyone wants to see that. It's going to happen. And they're
I'll
like,
take your bet, Jaclyn. I will
win
book
Super
your
Bowl
bet. You send me
MVP
the
and
money,
then-
and I'll book it.
got it. Thank you.
All right, Joe.
I think the Eagles are going to win. I
Who's
think the game is
MVP?
going to go to overtime. I think Saquon is going to score the touchdown in overtime, and I think he's going to win
The
the MVP.
Eagles win the game, and
Saquon is going to win the MVP.
Jalen Hurts is MVP. There's a problem because it's got to be Barkley.
I don't think Jalen Hurts can reach like 150 yards passing in this game. I think he's going to have a game where he's going to have like just 100 or 100 yards passing. I don't think he's going to hit 100 yards rushing. I think Saquon is going to be the best player in the game. I think he's getting over 100 yards easily.
All right, Jared, what do you think?
Yeah, so back in August for my NFL podcast, I swear to God, I picked the Eagles over the Chiefs.
Yep.
Swear to God.
Yep.
How can I change that now?
Can't.
5 months later. Have to. So I'll go Eagles. I don't think we've ever had we've only had, actually, no, take that back. One Super Bowl has landed on one. We've never had a Super Bowl land on two. So let's say this year the Super Bowl lands on two. Let's go 27-25 Eagles. Let's go Saquon MVP. Weird, freaky final score, but why not? 27-25 Eagles. Saquon is the MVP. He's the difference this year. That's what they didn't have 2 years ago.
Yeah, I really hope Joe Shane enjoys the game watching on his couch. Blake, what do you think? Who's winning? Who's the MVP?
So I know that like you said, like you guys are, Giants fans, you can't have Philly. I don't want Kansas City. I'm a Denver fan. I fucking hate Kansas City. They've been beating our ass for the last decade. So I think Philly, I want them to win, and I think they're going to win. But I think it's going to be a very boring game until the very end. I think it's going to be like a 17-13 type game, and it'll get interesting at the end. And I think if, like you said, if Philly wins, I think it's going to be Barkley. I think Barkley's going to be the MVP there. So yeah, that'd be mine.
All right, well, everybody, this has been a lot of fun. Enjoy the big game, and we always give our guests the last words, so let everybody know whatever you want them to know about you, where they can find you on social media, where they can find you doing shows, etc. And we will start with Joe. Joe, where can everybody find you?
They already know where they can find me. People care about them more.
All right, you can find Joe, host of the show, or you can find him in Las Vegas at some point, or you can find him at one of Blake's shows, because every time Blake comes
Blake
there,
puts on a great show.
he does.
Hopefully, I would love to
check one
link
out.
if you have some free time in New York before the Super Bowl. If not, no big deal. Maybe we'll do something in the spring when you're back, but would love to do it.
Blake, what's going on with you? What's the tour schedule looking like right now?
I'm actually pretty busy. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and all that under balake.h. That's my handles. And then, yeah, I mean, let's see, I'm in Vegas the 13th, Atlantic City the 14th, and San Diego the 15th. And then,
Valentine's Day
yeah, it's a
in
big weekend for me.
AC.
I bring in the ladies, so that's my target audience. So yeah, I got those shows, and then headed out to Germany for a music festival, which I'm really
Nice.
excited about, super pumped
Wow.
about. And then yeah, that's for now. That's about it. So yeah, so
You
yeah,
never know when
be out there.
those casting directors come calling,
I
reality
drop
TV.
everything. You got to drop everything and run to those opportunities.
Celebrity Big Brother for Blake. We'll see what
You
happens
know,
in the
the
future.
challenge, one of
Yeah,
those. Yeah.
that'd be nice. That'd be nice. Jaclyn, what do we got for you for your last words?
You can find me on Instagram at Jaclyn Marfuggi and TikTok at the Jaclyn Marfuggi. And I'm hosting the Comedy Reviewers Awards at Wise Guys in Town Square in Las Vegas, February 23rd. And it's really cool. There's a bunch of hilarious comedians that are nominated, and all the proceeds go to servingourkids.org. So it's for charity. So coming out. And if you're in LA on February 28th, I produce Holy Cannoli Comedy at the Hollywood Improv. So it's a really fun show. And yeah, come to that.
Very nice. And Jared, what's
I
going
will be at that show on the 23rd. I love going to local comedy shows here in town, so definitely coming to that. You can follow me on IG or Twitter, X at Jared Lee Smith, Fox Sports Radio every Saturday mornings. That's where pretty much I'll be all summer, and hopefully not anywhere near a computer for the majority part of the summer because I need some time off before next football season.
Fair enough. All right. Well, that's going to do it here for this super edition of You Know I'm Right. Want to thank all of our fans out there for voting for You Know I'm Right for the Best Sports Business Podcast Award. And even though we probably didn't win, I mean, this episode truly proves why we are the best of the best. So, for my co-host Joe Calabrese and our special guests, Blake Horstmann, Jaclyn Marfuggi, and Jared Smith. This has been You Know I'm Right. I'm Nick Durst. Enjoy the Super Bowl, and thank you for watching the Super Bowl edition of You Know I'm Right.